Hey Steve, swimming and diving are coming to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Nintendo just released a brand new trailer, right? I think this looks pretty fun.
I'm just so excited that there's something new coming. I can't wait to talk more about this.
That's really it, right? Even my mom, who I've said before, like, she's been addicted to this game. She's put hundreds of hours into it. She still plays every day. But even she's been saying recently, there's not a whole lot more to do now. I've done everything. So I sent her this trailer, and she's like, "Yay! It looks so much fun." It will add more to the game, definitely. So I think a lot of us have reached a point where we've just exhausted what's in the game. Like, are you still even playing daily, Steve?
I picked up Animal Crossing for the first time in a while last night, oddly enough.
Good timing.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? I miss my island. I want to go see everybody and check in on things. And I spent like a half hour on the game last night, and I was like, you know what, though? There's still nothing new to do. It feels like, I'm just going through the motions still. So I went and checked both my shops. I didn't find anything I really wanted to buy. And then I kind of checked in on my villagers and retired for the night. And I literally was just thinking, like, man, it would be nice if we got some more of the stuff from that data mine. Right. And here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, so this was, I'd say it was a bit of a surprise, but it really wasn't. I mean, we knew that there'd be a trailer coming soon because we've exhausted all of the spring content, I guess. It was a spring update before, right? So, yeah, we've exhausted all of that. The wedding stuff didn't hold my interest for too long. And for me, like, I've actually dropped entirely off Animal Crossing. I went from streaming it literally every day to not playing it at all. Now, that's partially because I've been busy elsewhere with other projects, but it's also because I've just lost interest in this game. I just completely lost interest. Like, it was really fun. I'm not holding anything against it. It held my attention for 2 months, but there's just nothing new for me to do now. So I'm so relieved to see meaningfully major new content coming to this game. So we should mention real quick, this hits on July 3rd, so not too long at all, and it seems to consist of 3 major new things. And first up, of course, being the big one, is swimming and diving, in which you put on a wetsuit, and you can then explore the ocean surrounding your island, which looks super neat. And if you dive underwater, you can find all kinds of underwater sea life that you can then donate to the museum. Next, we have a new returning character in the form of Pascal, the Otter, who will offer to exchange any scallops you find for mermaid-themed DIY recipes, and we can see a whole room, in fact, filled with mermaid merchandise, if you will, which reminds me really of Little Mermaid. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Disney-inspired rooms at the least, or maybe even entire islands now that we have all these new DIYs. Finally, we have Gulliver, who returns, this time wearing pirate garb, and apparently even the trailer's not quite sure what he's about because it has a question mark in the title even. So yeah, I'm sure we'll discuss more on what we think that could mean soon. But yeah, I think this thing that stood out to me the most in this trailer, Steve, is at the very start, you see the characters running off the rock and just leaping into the water. That looks so freeing, and I love that. Like, it just looks so liberating. And it's fun because we've been on this small plow of land for months now, and this finally expands the footprint. There's more area to explore.
Oh, absolutely. Same thing for me. When I watched the trailer, I was still kind of waking up and I was in bed, and I literally gasped when I saw the character on screen just run and jump off the rock into the ocean. I was like, this is so cool. I'm getting
Breath of the Wild vibes, man. You just got the parasail. You're running off the Great Wall, and you jump off and start sailing into the world.
Although credit where credit's due, Animal Crossing, you do a sweet flip.
Good point. Good point.
Link doesn't quite have those moves yet.
Not yet. You say that though, but in Majora's Mask, the sequel Ocarina, they did add the flip jump, so maybe they'll do that this time here too with Breath of the Wild too. You jump off the Great Wall, and you get the or Great Plateau, I should say, and you get that sweet mid-aerial flip.
Oh, that would be amazing. I hope they're taking notes. like I absolutely love this. I mean, at its core, I love this game. This is a great game. And, but like you said, after months with it, you feel like you've seen and done everything. Exactly. So for them to add something that's just like, hey, we've had this wait, and, now we're going to let you explore the ocean too, is just really great. And I love Pascal. He's been in previous games, but I really love how they've set him up here. He kind of gives you these like little philosophical tidbits. There's a point in the trailer where he's like waxing philosophical about riding a bike for some reason. And that's true to his character from the previous games, but I just really, really love the fact that, they kind of know, like, people are hitting the wall with this game. Right. We need to give them something new. And that And, also the fact that we're also being promised a second update in August, which, I think that's what was missing for me from the previous trailer, was it's like, okay, here's the wedding stuff and we'll see you soon. The idea of, okay, it's not a vague date. Like, a month from now, you're getting more content. And I feel like they're trying to inch Animal Crossing more towards the Splatoon model of updates, where it's like you just kind of get a barrage of stuff. And I'm all for it.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting because as far as I can tell, I don't know if anything's really changed in terms of the rollout. It's more in the way they're announcing it, because with the spring update that covered a season, whereas this covers a month. So they gave us a heads up as to everything coming for the next 3 months effectively the last time, whereas this time it seems like they're handling it now month by month. So I don't know anything as much has changed. But it definitely has in terms of perception, and I agree with you that I think this is better. As you said, we didn't have a promise or have any assurance or idea of what was coming after spring, even if it was kind of implied by the season. We figured there'd be a summer update. But even beyond that, though, just kind of knowing what was coming, like 3 months out, it kind of took some of the wind out of its sails, I feel like. Whereas I think it's a little bit more fun doing it this way, where they're rolling the content out slowly. Rolling the announcement of the content out slowly, rather than announcing it all at once and then rolling it out, drip feeding it to us over the course of a few months. By the time the wedding season stuff came, I'm over I'm over it. Like, I've known about this for months. It didn't look very fun then. It seems even less fun now.
Right. I think there's kind of a I find what you say interesting, because I agree. Like, the content rollout probably hasn't changed, but the fact that they're letting us know in smaller chunks kind of helps me too, because I'm thinking like, okay, July, I'm going to be in the ocean, helping Pascal, getting the mermaid stuff, and but what's coming in August, and that hype is more likely to keep me going than it is if they just threw it out and I had 30 days to kind of cool off on it.
Yeah, this is coming soon, and that's really fun. So it is. Yeah, it's nice to know that there's more happening, that it looks that it's as in depth as it seems here. Now, I know, as you said earlier, I know that swimming was in New Leaf as well. I have almost no recollection of it, though. So, do you remember, did it look pretty similar to how it works here? We could dive underwater, find sea creatures, and donate them, or is that part new?
That's a really good question. So, New Leaf, I didn't use the swimming a ton, but it does look very familiar to me. The one thing I can't remember is if you could donate things you found, but I imagine you could. And it looks like there's not a new wing for this. Like the museum doesn't get an upgrade in this update the same way it did with art. It seems like it's just going into the existing wing where all your other aquatic life is. So it'll be interesting to see what we can find and what we can put in the museum now and where that stuff goes. I know they showed some of it in the trailer, but yeah, it doesn't seem to me to be all that different to New Leaf, but I think it's just, again, it doesn't necessarily need to be all that different, because how do you spice up swimming?
Yeah, I suppose there's not a whole lot they could add to it, but I also don't think they needed to. Now, one thing I did notice, and I don't know if it means anything or not, but I noticed when you're talking to Pascal, who will again give you DIYs in exchange for finding them scallops, is he mentions a water slide in the dialogue. And again, it probably means nothing, but how cool would it be if one of the DIYs he gives you actually is a water slide? I'm a huge fan of water parks, especially Disney ones. In fact, I already have a slide on my own island that faces the ocean. You can't use it, of course, but how cool would it be if you did have one you could use and use it to slide down into the ocean? Yeah, so I'm not expecting it, but I think that would be a really fun thing to add here.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. And like you said, the idea of a water slide, which is something I missed, that sounds really, really fun. Like, I would love to be able to... I already have like a beachfront setup where I have like a boombox and some chairs and some towels. If I could throw a water slide on there and have people hop in the ocean, that would be literally the best.
Right? Would it not be? Yeah, so what do you think? What do you think's up with Gulliver, though? Now that he's wearing, washed up, seemingly saying, if not the same phrases, very similar ones, but now as a pirate. What do you think this
he got
means?
Fired.
He got fired?
I think he got fired because he's constantly falling overboard as a sailor, so he got picked up. Or, conversely, and I think this is probably more likely and fits his character better, he fell overboard, and instead of washing up on our island for once, he got picked up by pirates. And just decided to join their crew because his communicator was broken as it always is.
That is a great idea. I love the idea. I love the idea of having possibly Gulliver's story evolve as we go through. Because we've heard his story how many times now across how many games. But I love the idea of maybe on a per-season basis, maybe even a monthly basis now, that it evolves. That he gets picked up by different groups of people, maybe. Maybe he'll be the Snowmads next. Because he's already called out the Snowmads at one point, I think. So, if I remember correctly, in some of his dialogue.
Yeah, I think so.
Real quick, what do you make of that net we can see in the scene with Pascal? Do you think that is a limitation of when you're interacting with him, like almost like a minigame type thing? Or is that just the limits of the northern part of the ocean? Like, is that how they prevent you from going too far?
That is definitely Animal Crossing's version of the invisible wall. I think that whether you're interacting with Pascal or not, you'll see that thing in the ocean anytime you're in the water.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Which I guess makes sense, I suppose. I mean, they need some kind of boundary. You know what would be really neat, though? Is if you could just swim all the way around. Just let you go all the way around the planet and come back up on the southern shore. Wouldn't that be cool?
Now we're just talking about mixing Animal Crossing with Mario Galaxy, but I like it.
I mean, hey, I'm all down for this. I want Space Animal Crossing at some point. You know what's going to happen. The only question is, will we be alive long enough to see that happen?
Yeah, that's true. Animal Crossing, Let's Go to the Moon. I'm down for it. I would love to see Animal Crossing break free of the confines of its traditional design, and I imagine we're going to get that with the next major Animal Crossing game, but it's anybody's guess as to how it goes. But I'd be totally down for them starting to colonize space.
That would be kind of amazing. Yeah, well, Steve, any other final thoughts about swimming and diving that we haven't somehow covered yet?
Nothing yet, but I do want to say definitely hang out on the channel. We will obviously show this to you as soon as it's available somewhere in the world. I'm really excited to check it out, so it might be me doing the honors on that one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too. This looks like a lot of fun. Do you have any hopes real quick for the August update? What are you hoping we might get in that one?
Well, I mean, August is already the best month because that's my birthday. So obviously they're adding a special update just for me. But I'm hoping that we get like expanded DIY recipes, because I think that we just a lot of people are discovering the limits of what is available. I would love a new shop of some kind, or like the cafe. I want the cafe.
Right.
That's the one I really want, is Brewster to come back at this point. He's been hinted at. And there's also, from the data mine, we're still missing vegetable gardening.
Right.
So, and that was supposed to come along with cooking. So I think of all the things that we know have been toyed with in the code of the game, the one I want to see most is the vegetable gardening / cooking update. But Brewster would be cool as well.
Yeah, for some reason, Brewster's striking me as more of a fall thing. So I would guess we wouldn't get that till September, maybe at the soonest.
Yeah, and I would say probably the biggest thing I'm hoping for is that they keep up the monthly updates. That would be the biggest thing. If they come into August and no matter what they drop, if they say, hey, there's more in September, this will keep my interest, and I imagine the interest of millions of other players, a lot longer.
That's exactly it. I agree with you. I really prefer the monthly schedule. It just seems more fitting for a game that takes place in real time anyway. And while I guess I did, it was nice having a heads up as to everything that was coming. Again, it kind of took a lot of the steam out of its sales by the time it did happen. So yeah, I think this is just a better model overall. It's just nice to have that concrete, not exact date, but at least a concrete idea that this isn't it. There's more coming. Stay tuned, and the fact that we have something to look forward to. So
yep.
All right, well, I think that's about it for our thoughts on the swimming update, so thanks for watching. If you like this discussion, make sure to click that subscribe button and ring that bell for tons more on Animal Crossing New Horizons, including the fact that we'll be checking this content out ourselves, as Steve was saying, very soon. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye, everyone.